Hi everyone, this is Joy with Create It with Joy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's card, I am using Mama Elephant products. I'm using Wish Upon a Star stamp set and the big Happy Birthday die. And this die is really fantastic. So let's get started. So what I am doing, I've got some glitter, some white glitter cardstock that was in my stash, and I am using Lawn Fawn's large stitch rectangle stackables. I'm using the largest one and running that through my die cut machine. I use the Platinum 6 from Spellbinders. And I'm running that through, and then I'm going to be using Avery Elle's Pierced Clouds die, and I'm going to be cutting out clouds from this. Now my original design was I'm cutting these clouds and then I was going to piece it back together like a puzzle, if that makes sense, on my A2 sized background. I did change my mind though, but this is what I was doing. So I was cutting out all the different pieces and I was kind of changing the angles because this really still would be a really cute background for this card or any other card, quite honestly. So running those through, changing up the angles. The reason why I cut it out with a rectangle background first, because then it gives it that stitched edge and it's a nice, it still feels like a frame, if that makes sense. So I'm going to finish lining those up, running that through, and then you'll see how I had originally planned on putting it together. But then when I started lining it up on the card, I thought, oh, this would be really cute too. But it fits together like a cute puzzle piece. And that would still be really darling behind the card. So here is my A2 size piece, and I started putting things up and I thought, oh my gosh, this would be really cute just to have the top and bottom and then have the die cut in the center. So here's where all the plans are changing. Isn't it nice that we just have the freedom to just kind of do whatever we want when we're creating? There is no rules, you guys. So I was just doing my little layout of how I wanted my things to do. So I took the other piece, flipped it around, cut the frame, the rectangle frame, so it would have the stitch line across the top, if that makes sense. Then I used the Mama Elephant Big Happy Birthday die, ran that through my die cut machine 3 times, 2 white, 1 in Simon Says Stamp Mint color. And I'm going to glue these together because this would be too much of a pain to put foam tape behind. So I want to get dimension by adding lots of paper behind it. You also could use Stick It and Fun Foam for this, and that would work just as fantastic. But this to me was just a little bit quicker, and so this is what I did. So I'm using Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110-pound cardstock for my base, and that's what I used to cut out the background since you would see it together and I needed it to match. So now I'm adhering my sparkly clouds from my glitter cardstock, the top and the bottom. And now I'm going to stamp up these really cute images, and this is from Wish Upon a Star from Mama Elephant, and I am going to be coloring these. So I'm going to play some music for you guys and I'll be back. So I'm going to use the coordinating dies and cut these out when I am done coloring. Now I'm prepping my paper for my sentiment. I used an anti-static tool. I am stamping it up with Simon Says Stamp Intense black ink and using clear embossing powder. Making sure my heat tool is nice and hot and heating that up. You could also use a black embossing powder and do the same thing. Then I used the little stars from the stamp set and the coordinating die set and cut those out of Simon Says Stamp Mint cardstock. This is Lawn Fawn's Minty Fresh ink, and in the stamp set there's cute little itty bitty tiny stars. They're open and full stars, and I stamped those onto that cute little bunny's cloud. Now I'm using my Ranger Multimedia Matte Glue, and I'm adhering that down to the glitter cardstock, and I'm using a liquid glue because that sticks better on a glitter cardstock or a textured cardstock where maybe your tape runner won't work as good. Using that same glue to adhere this Happy Birthday die to the background, and you can put a acrylic block on top of this while it's drying. Using some foam tape behind all the bunnies because I want those to be popped up, and this little bunny on the cloud is going to be sitting on top of the Happy Birthday die cut, which I think is really darling. I love how that turned out. And then a little bit of glue where he's going to be touching the sentiment because that's already popped up a little bit too, because remember we added layers of paper behind that die cut. So remove all the backing paper and adhere him down. I love that he's sitting on the huge die cut sentiment. I think that's fun. To me it's very interactive. Then I'm going to add my die cut stars. I did one to the cloud, one by the sentiment, and one at the top. I really think those are darling and how they turned out. Then I'm taking those same little itty bitty stars in that same Lawn Fawn's Minty Fresh ink and stamping that around the image. Not a ton, just a few little here and there. And what I do is I've got my small acrylic block and I put a stamp on either side, and so then you can just flip it over to use whatever stamp that you want. So I'm just changing out the sizes here and there. And I love how that turned out. Then I'm going to be adding some glitter to the stars and the bunny's wings, and I am using Ranger's Stickles in Diamond. And I love how glittery that is. Your Tool-n-One is perfect if you get something outside the edge. It just cleans it up wonderfully. I think that this finishes off the card nicely. It gives it a nice good glitter, and you've got this really cute card. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your support so very much. If you like what you've seen, please thumbs up, subscribe, share, comment. I love it all. All the supplies I use are listed in the links below. Some are affiliate links, cost you nothing, but it does help me to continue doing what I love. Thank you so much, and I'll be back before you know it.